And here we go.
So, Dave picked up.
Perfect. Good timing.
Awesome.
Is that you in chat?
Me.
Oh my god, could it be the legend himself? All right, so it begins. Okay, so setting the scene real quick. So we've got Raj, Zenmon, and Orla with her trusted lizard buddy, Ciro, and the four of you have been carrying Rurik and Thora, two dwarves who you captured. Although Rurik, after the fight and his partner Thora's very rude attack against Raj, you guys captured those two, and you're currently bringing them into Stone Hollow, the local gnomish encampment or stronghold, for essentially questioning. But essentially, you're trying to get down to the brass tacks and figure out who stole the gnomish regalia. You're currently being led by Thalira Glimmerdust, who was rather frightened from your last encounter with her because she did see Raj eating people, and then just your classic D&D moment.
I didn't eat anyone. I drank their blood. Very
That's
big
true.
difference.
That is an excellent point. There was no human consumption.
Gotta
or
remember and
organ
respect.
consumption. That's true. You held back. You just drank a little bit of blood. You just.
That's right.
A little borrowed here, a little borrowed there. You got to do what you got to do. But yeah, so as you approach the front gates of Stone Hollow, you're still probably about 20 minutes walk, 25 minutes walk to the stronghold's entrance. When to your left, as you're walking, you see what you think could be somebody hanging off of a ledge. Now, because Coping is just returning, in a strange turn of events, while your party was at Drenache, a strong mist overtook you, and it appeared that the entirety of your party, all but Coping, successfully somehow transported to this region, which is very, very, very far from Drenache. You are in mountains far, far southwest of where you were before. However, while the rest of your party was able to, by whatever means or power, transported you to this very interesting magical land that's several hours from any human civilization, while all of you were successfully transported, it appears that Coping was transported to the immediate edge of a cliff, where he currently hangs. And as you can see in the map, I believe you are all on the correct tab. And yes, you are. So yeah, so you see Coping hanging roughly 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 meters in the air above you. And so, all of you may do as you wish.
Excuse me. What do you think you're doing up there, Coping?
Oh, jeez, how'd I get here? What are you guys doing down there?
Well, we were just walking these people back to their homes. You know, it's not entirely a very safe place, so we thought we would just walk them back home. But we did not think to encounter tree copings on the way, or I should say cliffside copings on the way there.
I don't know. Do you think I can climb down from here?
Yes! You should
Good luck.
have this, no problem.
That sounds so confident.
Rod will,
I'm
Rod will
wishing you
catch you
good
if you
luck.
fall.
I
So
don't see how
you
this
guys
is
know
gonna
this
go.
dude.
Oh yes, here's the friend we were talking about earlier.
So I was going to mention, we'll say for the sake of gameplay that this cliff looks precisely like it looks in this image. So it has that curve, it has that sort of U sort of thing going on. In theory, Coping could, he could try to like fancily swing and slide down the side of the mountain or something. But I mean, I don't know if anybody would be able to come up with anything clever to try to assist him. But yeah, he's dangling off the cliff, and if he was to fall directly, it would likely be almost certain death, if not severe injury. But yeah, again, to however you guys wish to crack this egg. But just remember, Coping has been hanging on this cliff the entire time you were fighting. So, yeah.
I could potentially cast Jump on one of y'all if you wanted to see if you could make the jump up there to assist him.
I
I'm
know
pretty sure
for a fact I am not strong enough to do that.
Me too. I'm pretty sure the ground will break his fall for him if he falls.
This is rough. This is my team. This is my. Shit. Well, so I'm hanging on the cliff.
Yeah, basically you're by your fingertips hanging. Essentially what happened was when you were transported through the mist, you stepped out of the mist sort of like a wily coyote off of a cliff distance, and you had just enough time to turn your body around and grab on, and you grabbed a ledge that was just barely too smooth for you to get good grip on, and you've just been praying and holding on this entire time for your dear life.
All right. So, okay. I need you guys to get near the end of where I'm at. I'm gonna try to swing and slide down the side of the cliff, and you guys are gonna help break my fall. Yes?
I mean, whatever you say.
Well, we could use the dwarf to break his fall.
Let's do that.
That is very true.
Oh my god.
But that might kill him, and then that would we dragged him to the forest for nothing.
No, we could use the one that's already a blood bag.
Didn't we only we
We
only
had the
have
two.
the one, right?
No, we had the two. The one that was like quasi dead, and then the other one that I wanted to break her hands, but you guys said not to.
I thought they were both pretty much dead. All right, well, whatever.
No, remember the one gave
she
up.
was, she was alive.
Yeah, she was alive, and the other guy had no arm or leg.
And I wouldn't argue against it. So
All right, we'll make a dwarf pile for you, buddy. You can land straight on them.
Hold on. You guys sure you wouldn't be strong
Wow.
enough to pull him up if you got to the top of the cliff?
I am very certain. I know I look like a strong person, but no, I excel in speed, not strength.
I'm a lion. We don't like to do things. Laziness. I'm not a lioness.
I'm not a lioness. All right.
Yeah,
I like
Phil.
the dwarf pile. Let's hurry up. I'm slipping.
Yeah, dwarf pile. We got this.
All right.
All right.
So I guess they make the dwarf pile, and then I'm gonna try to like swing into the cliff to lower my speed before I hit the dwarfs.
And the dwarf pile is going to be roughly here. How exactly is this? Like, is he aiming for the bushes? Like, what's the goal here?
So dwarf pile. I'm hanging here. I'm gonna take a swing out and then come in. I'm gonna like try to just,
What's your acrobatics?
not great. That or I come down. I can't just fall 100
Well,
feet. I would die.
listen, Ray, I want to let you know I heard the other guy's reference and I appreciate it. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I did. I heard. Yeah. Even, you thinking what I'm thinking?
Aim for the
Aim
bushes.
for the bushes. That's right.
All I was thinking is like, does he just want him to die?
Yeah, I think DM wants me out of the game officially. I
No,
think-
no. I was gonna say you do have a gnome with you who could guide you to the top of that ledge.
None of us.
Yeah, but that would take a while.
Yeah, they're tiny. I mean, we could throw him up there. That's how we're gonna redirect him. We throw the gnome while he's falling to redirect him to the dwarf pile.
Valmir peppers in real quick. If you don't want to risk him just falling to his almost certain death, I could just walk you around to the top of the cliff.
This is way more fun. We're just gonna throw you while he falls to try and redirect him to the dwarf pile. That's way easier for us.
Are you joking, or is this a real thing that you're trying to do?
It's in the math.
No, if she would prefer to walk around, let her walk around. It's alright. He's been hanging there for so long. I'm certain he'll be able to keep hanging there for quite some time. So she should be
you.
able to walk around.
Falmira shouts out, "Hey, you in the armor! How much longer do you think you could stay up there?
I
If you
got
had to guess."
10 minutes.
Okay. How many fingers do you still have on the cliff?
10. Or 8 and 2 thumbs?
8. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think thumbs count as fingers, but yeah, all right, I'll be up there. So Thalmira
Pretty sure thumbs count.
begins to dash up. It'll take her about, let's say, 8 minutes to get up there. Do you guys want to do anything in the meantime, or do any of you want to follow her? She's going off screen for a moment, but she's truly there, doing the thing.
Ron, how is she gonna assist him if these guys aren't even sure they were gonna be able to assist him if they got up there?
Do you want to ask her?
Do you want? There's no time for this.
There's no time.
So
We're
she's
running
already
out of
on her
time.
way. She's already on her way. So I turn to
See her
I
scambling.
turn to Zenmon. With her assistance, between you and her, you guys would be able to assist him at the top of this cliff. Either that or you, Raj. I can assist you. I can just give you the ability to triple your jump and get up there.
But my jump, I can only jump like 2 feet. It wouldn't matter if you triple 2 feet. You'll get.
It's 6 feet.
What happens if you 6 feet? You get 6 feet. Listen, okay, math is not my strong suit, okay? That is not part of my culture, alright? I only know how to drink blood and bite people, alright? That was all I was taught.
All right. So,
I think I've been
Zem-
overestimating
Zemnon,
everyone's
go with the
ability.
gnome. Help me up.
All right. So we'll say it takes them approximately. Well, Zemnon, do you want to follow Thalmira?
Reluctantly, I will. After setting up the dwarf pile, though,
Copper.
just in case.
Copper, the rocks aren't slippery or anything, right? Like, when was the last time you think it rained? Do your fingers feel okay?
Fingers feel okay. Mist, little moist.
All right. So Zemnon, so you're following?
Yes.
Okay. So approximately 7.5 minutes longer. Essentially, you scale around, and there are 2 thin grass paths that sort of cut diagonally across. You and Glimmerdust sprint up the hillside, and you manage. So now you've got about, let's say, 2 minutes left. You can see here on the map how it sort of crests downward a little bit. Thalmira starts to unwrap a belt that she has. She unfortunately doesn't have much rope, but she starts tying rope that she has together, and you can see she'll have about 6 feet of good length assist. And yeah, do you have anything that would? And you can see essentially, she's slightly red faced. She's trying to hurry, trying to do her best, and she's trying to set up this sort of hoist or something. You can tell she's just messing with the rope. And yeah, what do you do?
So I pull out my 50 feet of hempen rope and be like, would this be easier than your 6
Oh,
feet of
well,
rope?
fuck you. Of course. She throws aside her rope. What do you?
Do you
all
wait
right.
till she like ties it all together?
I was going to do that. I was be like, right after she sets everything up, be like, I got this.
Just imagine soon how great it will feel to not have to hold on to that cliff. Soon you'll be able to just relax your fingers and just relax your hands and your arms. Won't that be nice, Kopik?
What?
Just imagine relaxing your fingers.
No, just listen to the waterfall coming nearby, you know?
Oh god.
Running water, nonstop.
What?
Oh god. All right. So you have your hempen rope. Now, how do you want to do this? Are you going to try to lasso? Or are you going to just throw it to him and pray that he can?
I'm gonna
figure it out?
try and lasso his neck. Is that what you're asking me to do? Because what I'm also gonna lasso.
That's on my neck. Toss me
All
the
right.
rope.
Yeah, coping. You can see Thalmira slightly red in the face, looking at Zemnon. You can see Zemnon holding 50 feet. I also want just take a second. 50 feet of rope is a lot of rope.
That's
It's
a lot
kind
of
of
rope.
weird to me that that's the standard like bushel of rope. But anyway, on this note,
That's a lot.
Zemnon is holding 50 feet of hempen rope. Do you have any requests for him? How do you guys do this?
Just imagine how great it would feel to let go.
What?
I'm just sitting off, petting my lizard, just grinning while watching them.
Throw the rope.
Throw the rope.
Make
Wait,
sure-
hold on
make
to
sure-
one end.
Make
Hold
sure
on to
you
one
throw it
end.
right. Make sure you're throwing it right, okay? You have to get the right technique. If you have to practice it a few times before you throw it, I think that might be smart.
All right, I let go of the cliff. No.
I wonder, could I use? Oh, he's already there. I was gonna say if I use snare, but he's already in the spot, so I don't think it works that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just say hold one end of the rope, toss me the other end, and then try to pull me up.
Oof. I guess we could try that. Is there a big rock nearby that I could tie off one end of the rope to?
Yes.
Ooh, that's
There are multiple large rocks.
So I look for the prettiest of the big rocks, and I have to make sure it's perfect for this endeavor. So it's gonna take me at least 3 minutes.
Sorry, 1 second. You find a fairly attractive rock. It's pretty nice, man. It's pretty good looking.
Ooh, that's the rock.
not
So
a rock. That's a boulder.
See, I use my words carefully. Now there's a pretty big rock that when you try and climb up, it's just gonna fall with you, like a cartoon. No, so yeah, I tie the rope off to the rock and I throw him an end.
All right, I grab the end and I start to pull myself up.
Yes.
So what I need, real quick, is you can so give me a dexterity check with advantage, coping, and Zemnon. Are you going to assist him in pulling the?
What I was gonna do was I was gonna make it seem like I was actually helping him out, but I
damn,
was just
that's
gonna put my hands on the rope.
Whoa. Well, before
I got a
Zemnon,
quick 20.
so Zemnon is about to try to do something. I'm not, but like, so Zemnon is preparing to assist with like the rope climbing thing, but coping. Describe how you climb up this rope with a nat 20.
It doesn't even look like I don't even use my fingers because they're tired. I just use my teeth and I just pull myself up with my teeth all the way. I'm just.
Look at that! I've taught him well.
He loses a little bit of the vampirism belief because now he's like, oh yeah, no, teeth are pretty cool. Actually, yeah, multiple uses.
He's not wrong.
He's slightly less convinced that Raj is vampire. Okay,
Yeah.
so yeah,
At the end, I just kind of effortlessly just kind of get up and dust off.
If it
Oh,
was
yeah.
that easy, why didn't you do that originally, though?
Yeah, I mean,
didn't
you
have
mean to
rope.
come all the way up here to do nothing? Come on, you could have just done this with your hands and your teeth. Come on.
With your hands. I probably could have, but how would I have known how to get down?
Well,
You
it's very
didn't go
easy to get
down, you went up!
All right,
Down
so
was the easy part. Up was the hard one.
Zemnon, I'm thinking quickest way down is if we both just jump onto
Aim
this
for the
door.
bushes.
Aim for the. You thinking what I'm thinking? You think-
Yeah.
oh my god,
After
hell
all,
yeah.
We just jump off.
Should we aim for the dwarf pile?
Aim for the dwarf pile.
I'm pretty sure you'd kill yourselves and the doors.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah. I have heavy armor chainmail.
Hey, what is it? Every 10 feet past the first 10 feet it's like 2d6 damage or something. 1d6, yeah. Still.
Yeah, I was doing the math earlier. I was like, yeah, it's gonna be like 60 damage minimum. Well, around. Well, no. I mean, Okay, no, 60 is probably
No,
max.
it's technically 9 damage minimum if it's 96 and they're falling from 100 feet,
yeah.
but you're not going to get 9 damage. You're
Sorry,
probably on
54
average. What's 4 times 9? Someone do that? What is 30, 31?
36.
36 there. So 36 damage average for that. So you'd probably both be dead.
You know,
So
that's
I
just
don't
how
recommend
life goes. Yeah. Well, dead isn't always the end. You know, it's one of
It's
those.
a
True.
roll, right?
Yeah, it would be a roll.
That's true.
All right. Are we
Yes.
going back to the party?
Yeah, we're gonna walk down. After I get my rope back, I'm not just leaving it up there, and I take her rope too.
No, no. Dalmira looks at you. Give me my fucking belt back.
Hey, take your belt. I just want your rope.
Oh.
Now
Okay.
I got 56 feet of rope.
Fine.
Can I
Well,
start walking on before?
I
while
was
they
trying to
start
help
walking
your
down the
friends.
mountain?
I was trying to help your friend. You can enter through the gate yourself. Phew. And she sort of turns her nose up and gnomishly skitters down a different path. And you can see her sort of gallivanting across down near the essentially she's like walking down the river baseline, and you can tell she's just using another entrance to get to the city or something. And she's sort of like sliding down very steep rock surfaces, very familiarly though. You can tell she's been living here for probably her whole life.
Dang.
But she
It's-
does look back a couple of times, just sort of like she's messing around with you guys a little bit. But yeah,
Cool.
Alrighty. So I just go back down the way I came up.
perfect. All right, excellent. So the party commences. So now you all are moving. Presumably, I assume you're gonna just follow the gate and not try to follow whatever path Thalmira had.
You mean Thalira? And yes.
Yeah. There's no M in that. You're correct. My eyesight's. I need to wear glasses. It's a rough
I need
life.
to. My
But yeah.
eyesight. I need
But
to
no.
wear this.
Yeah, I need to zoom in. That's what I really need to do. There we go. I can. Yeah, Thalira.
How do I get rid of these boxes?
Oh my gosh, we've been visible this whole time. All I've seen this whole time is coping. I
Oh
was
yeah,
really
we were
confused.
on the bottom portion of the map. Yeah.
Oh boy. But yes. So as you approach, I assume you're all just walking up to the main entrance.
Yep.
All right. So at the entrance to the Gnomish strongholds, you see two friendly-looking and somewhat welcoming, although still professionally serious, Gnomish guards, sort of ready. You can tell they're just sort of ready to greet you. They're just standing on both sides of the entrance as you approach. Still, it's going to be about 10 to 15 minutes before you get there. I moved the icons very quickly. This is all sort of relative with distance for the image. It's not a standard battle map. But essentially, you approach the entrance and you see the two guards. One of them appears to be holding a crossbow with quite a fancy gem-encrusted stock and a quiver of bolts in her back, while the other wields it's a fairly nice short sword with a fairly ornate hilt. He seems to be wearing something on his back that you can't quite tell, and he seems to have a couple satchels on him. But yeah, what do you do?
Greetings, good sirs. We rescued the rare Glimmerduster and her friend, who he never introduced himself, but got slightly injured. But he should have returned just in front of us, I believe. And we also captured these dwarves as well when they attacked us and Thalira and her friend. And yeah, they were part of the group that stole the regalia from you folk, I do believe. So we have captured them after they violently attacked us, and we have brought them here for questioning.
Oh, hi, Biscuit, and call me a biscuit. One of the
Okay,
female,
Biscuit.
the female with the crossbow. It was a metaphor. Okay. Anyway, she sort of looks over. She seems pleasantly surprised as soon as you mentioned, and she saw that you had two dwarves with them. hopefully you're not going to be trying to find Hoblin. He's going to be like finding a gnome in a haystack in there. We've got a fair number of traders in here at the moment, but if you wanted to find the guy, we saw Hoblin. He said that he saw some folks having a bit of a tussle out there. And I would say, too, it's an unexpected as rainbow in a cave. I can't believe you guys got that guy down. I saw him hanging there for about it must have been 2 hours or something.
Did you start
that's
throwing
quite
rocks at
alright.
him?
I got blisters
character's
on my
just laughing.
fingers.
Well, you three, you bring us dwarves. You bring us good news. Man, that's you've got hearts bigger than a dragon's hoard.
No,
She sort of looks over to her companion. Yep.
no,
Yeah, what's up?
just a second here. You're saying the halfling that has returned in front of us, his name is Hoblin?
Hoblin.
Because
I thought he knew you.
I know he got we never like introduced ourselves. The dwarves injured him and he ran back in front of us. But I just found it amusing because he was injured in the leg, so he was hobbling back here, and his name is Hoblin, and I thought that was quite amusing, and I think you should know that.
Oh, that is good. That is a good one. That is a good one. They both sort of start smiling and laughing. It's definitely. I didn't even think of that. Hot dang. But yeah. Gosh. Yeah. I mean he's a queer fella. You know, he tries his best, but he's as skittery as they get, you know. He tried to hold up, but you know, he's not a guard. He's not as vivacious and powerful and strong as the two of us here guarding this here stone hollow. But once again, I mean, I'm sure the king will give you penance for, you know, bringing in 2 dwarves. We haven't really been trying to go out and get them, but we know we're looking to try to get our stuff back. So
Yes, I understand. You want your regalia. I know. Did I told the leader and I guess Hoblin when he was there at the time when I came upon the conversation they were having with the dwarves. But you know, I saw the dwarves just like a week ago standing around in a circle and pissing on this beautiful golden filigreed object that I think might have been your regalia, and they were just peeing on it in a circle, which is I think what started the fight because they were very angry that I was, you know, telling people the truth about that. So, you know, we'll have to see. Perhaps your king will hand down some kind of punishment and we'll be able to find out where the regalia is and get it back. I don't know.
So I'm gonna need you to give me a quick deception check.
Okay. Natural 20, natural 21. Let's go.
Oh my god. We're all 3 parts in it. Oh my god. The king's gonna be. Oh, good lord. Oh, well, try not to tell him direct face to face that, you know, that's exactly what you saw, but was it the crown and the amulet?
I only saw it from a distance. I can't even say for certain that, and I've never seen your regalia directly. I just know that there was some object that they were peeing on, and they were saying funny things like, "Oh, the halflings, you know, will love this. They deserve it," and that kind of thing. So when I came upon the conversation in the forest between the dwarves and the leader and Hoblin, I am assuming that is what they were pissing on. But I cannot say that for certainty because I don't know the object by sight. You know, I've never, like, I didn't see it before then. I don't know if that was could be someone else's regalia. We don't know. But I'm just saying that's what I've seen.
And while you're all talking, there's nothing particularly dramatic about it, but just as you are speaking with, just give me 2 seconds while I pull something up. While you're speaking with the female guard, you see the male guard step aside for a moment and just he shakes the hands of 2 what looks like passing merchants who enter the town. I'm going to use interchangeably town or strongholds. You can tell it's very open for strongholds, but you can tell by the way that it's designed, it could be used for as a defensive fortification, as a stronghold. But you see, anyway, it's just to let you know there's traffic sort of coming in and coming out Although these ones are coming from a little bit further south than where the entrance is. But yeah, again, nothing particularly dramatic. You just see he steps away for a moment and allows these four through. He appears to have seen them before and knows who they are. And there's nothing, they're just four gnome, probably merchants or something, entering the city with a few sacks.
Well, I suppose we should go through and go talk to your leaders.
Once again, thank you. Just keep a close eye on those two, except for that one. And she sort of points at the one. She doesn't really look perturbed or anything, but you can tell she's sort of like, "Oy, yeesh," you know, as soon as she sees the missing body components. But yeah. Anyway, she wishes you well and lets you enter.
So Orla, assuming Coping knows that they know each other pretty well, goes ahead and just winks at Coping after that story, assuming that he knows what's going on.
Coping, do you say anything?
I mean, if you're asking if I know what's going on, if it's what Raj is talking about, you guys fought some gnome or dwarves and you're turning them in.
Yep.
And now we're gonna try to see if we can't go get what the dwarves took. So we're gonna go fight more dwarves potentially.
Possibly, but we will see. But all right. So give me a moment while I get the map and everything together. Hopefully, I don't miss any icons. I don't think I will.
Sound right?
All right. Give me 3 more seconds.
1, 2,
One,
3.
two.
Oh, it's about 4 or 5, but I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I tried. I tried my best. But yeah, so your icons aren't perfect, but essentially you're at the entrance of you've now entered the once you pass the gate had sort of like 4 sort of guard houses atop, and that's behind you now. So you're currently looking at Stone Hollow. Behind you, you can see the gate and the fortifications that are there, and on top of that, there's what looks to be sort of again, none of this is like to Coping. This is nothing. I think I mispronounced it last game we played, but he's from Stygate, which again is sort of like, it's very much like a Demacia type location. It's like dramatic, and the barracks are all mansions, and it's all crazy. Their idea of a barracks here is like, there's a couple of beds, there's a couple of training dummies. You know, you get the idea. But that is all behind you. And what you see in front of you, I know it's not well represented here, but the tokens would have just been everywhere. So I'll sort of give you a quick rundown. So as you make your way into the gnomish stronghold of Stone Hollow, you're greeted by a vibrant and enchanting sight. The stronghold is a testament to gnomish craftsmanship and innovation. So you have so the walls are essentially hewn from, I wouldn't call them living rock, but essentially you can tell that there was some magical, they were shaped. They were almost certainly shaped to some degree. And then if I could get a quick perception check from everybody. You're also, of course, there's bustling merchants and there's people walking to and fro.
Natural 20, I got a 25.
Okay. So, Julia, were you able to... Sorry, yeah. Oh, perfect. Okay. So, to Raj and Coping. So, and Raj, obviously, you see, if you have any questions about finer details, I will allow. But so you see sparkling fountains and waterways behind you in between the walls and the actual township. Essentially, it's crystal clear waterways. The surfaces are some of the doors and some of the sort of fronts are adorned with sort of little intricate petals and leaves and things. You've got bustling streets, gnomes from young to old are sort of there's not thousands, there's certainly not hundreds, but you can tell there's a there's probably 100 or so folks that live in this area. Because you can tell that there's more built into the gnomish surface. But yeah, let's see. So you see a couple of people working on gem crafting, a couple of people working on blacksmithing. You see one man inventing contraptions. You see an array of gemstone jewelry. Essentially, there's also there's a couple of statues with some gems in them. There's what appear to be bakeries. There's what Raj would call a gem cutter's bazaar. Essentially, it's a slightly bustling bazaar with a couple of gem cutters displaying their wares and trying to sell them off. And then there's a workshop. There's a couple of gnomish crafters working away. And yeah, there's also a number of over some of the doors is a small number of colorful banners and flags, but you can tell that most of what is set is in the doors, but most of the doors are currently open, which enter into sort of chamberways for, again, food shops and gem stuffs. If we want to actually put it place to place, we'll say this is your bakeries, this is your gem cutters, and this is your workshop. But yeah, and then again, you can see the stairs run up to an entrance to what appears to be a slightly more royal hall.
No reason to linger. I think we should go directly to their Royal Highness.
All
Yeah, let's
right.
get rid of this dead weight.
All right. So your party continues onward. The hustle and bustle of the streets you sort of pass by. Again, it's not the craziest numbers of folks you've ever seen, but it's pretty good. And as you enter, we will shift this over real quick to this. The tokens are, yeah, that'll work out. So yes, one moment. So before you actually enter, I will say, just give me a moment. All right. So a guard stops you as you are entering and sort of looks you over. He doesn't look terribly displeased, especially as soon as he sees the two dwarves. But he goes, "Hey, who are all of you?"
Greetings. We are the people who rescued Habling and Thalera and took the dwarves captive, and we're here to turn them in. So we can, see what happens with the regalia that they stole from you.
Actually, yeah, Hoblin mentioned that some folks are fighting. He kind of said that you were a little bit violent, though. I could be wrong, but I mean, it's not that big a deal.
sir, you know Habling. You know how he likes to spin those tales.
That's actually a fair point. No, that's a good point. Yeah, no, I like it. All right. Well, yeah, sure, why not? All right. My lord, you can see him do a quick tally with his fingers. You've got 7 coming in if you want to talk to them after you're done with Hoblin and Lirin. The king, I say king, but it's really more of like, you can tell it's a slightly grandiose title. But essentially he sort of gives a quick nod, and you are allowed to enter. I will presume that you all just sort of walk in.
Yes.
All right. So there you go. And yeah, from here you can move your tokens wherever you want and sort of explore. But yeah. So at the moment, the king is speaking with Hoblin. And Raj, if you did walk over,
I did.
Hoblin notices that you're walking over and sort of shudders a little bit, but you can tell the king's just sort of inquisitorially looking into his eyes and sort of very intensely gauging. Within the room, there's a couple of guards walking around. There's a couple of gnomish peasants. And again, if for any reason you would want to speak with any of these folks, or if you have any questions about what all is in the room, feel free to ask me. But when it comes to recognition, I have the main tokens up for people you can tell are in somewhat positions of authority. They have the nicest chairs, they have the greatest wealth. But again, feel free, and I can elaborate on anything else in the room. But you do see it's a fairly nice little. It's certainly not palatial, but it's sort of a well-hewn, well-cut sort of throne room.
Greetings, your gnomishness. I am part of the party that rescued Habling and Thalera from the dwarves when they violently attacked us. When you were talking about the regalia, we have these dwarves here. We captured them and are here to turn them over to perhaps get information about the regalia and see what we can do.
The gnomish king, Jamaric Gem Whisper, leans forward on his ornate gemstone adorned throne, his gaze piercing as he addresses the regalia. The matter of the stolen regalia, a vexing riddle that has troubled our people for too long. The truth, my dear friends, is that we gnomes have been its keeper for generations, guarding it with care and reverence, as it embodies the very essence of our craftsmanship and ingenuity. But now, as you know, the dwarves claim that this relic is one of their own history and glory, etc., etc., etc. But yes, they accuse us of its theft, which is a slanderous claim, of course. Slanderous as a serpent's bite. And yet, I urge you to see beyond these accusations, and bring these two dwarves up so that we might ask them questions. And he sort of looks over to his right, and you can see Liren Wood Whisper sort of perk in surprise as soon as she sees the dwarves, and she's sort of like, "Oh, excellent, yes, your lord, fantastic."
Yes, your gnomishness. We will do so directly. And I would come over here and grab the dwarves and drag them over here in front of the king. I don't have control over them. You gotta move those tokens.
Yep.
Here they are, your gnomishness. Here are the two attackers, the two assaulters, the two would-be murderers that tried to kill your people and us. Two of the thieves that stole the regalia.
So, given the surprising nicety, you can tell that the two dwarves have actually never been in Stone Hollow. The two of them sort of, well, it would appear. They're just the way that they're looking around the room. But essentially, Thora and Rurik sort of look up at the king, and you can tell that this place is a little bit nicer than what they expected. And yeah, they just sort of look up, and then you see Liren walk up. And she sort of looks in, thinking, and saying, you can see her brow is rather furrowed, and she looks at the two of them and goes, "We will have plenty of time to talk with you. But just to gauge how this conversation is going to go, where is the regalia?
Oh shit.
And
Oh shit, here we go.
what can we do to get it back without bloodshed?" And then Thora and Rurik, I will say for a moment that they begin to answer, but then Thora gives a sort of like scathing look. Although honestly, Rurik is nearly dead, so he could have just been moaning. But it appeared that Thora thought that Rurik was going to speak, and she looks over and goes, "Look, I don't know you. I don't really. I don't. I'm glad that you haven't killed us. I'm glad that you haven't thrown us off a cliff or something, but what we'd like is for you to ransom us back. We're not going to take any part in your stupid claim of accusations and all the stupid stuff. We just want you to ransom us back, and we'll get back and repay the debt." And from here, I will say that essentially, unless one of you wants to listen in, Liren and Thora will continue this conversation. But just to let the rest of you do whatever you wish.
I would poke or pat Liren very gently on the shoulder.
Excuse me, may I speak to you for just a moment privately over here?
Sure.
Listen, I
do
didn't
you-
I didn't want to tell his enormousness this directly because I worry about his health, you know. I don't want to, you know, startle him or do anything bad to his heart. So I thought maybe I would tell you this privately, but I have heard rumors of the dwarves perhaps defacing the regalia and perhaps any enormous artifacts they could get their hands on. In fact, when I passed through just recently, I saw a bunch of them standing in a circle and doing unmentionable things to something. I've never seen the enormous regalia. I can't say for certain that's what it was, but they were all laughing and defacing it and saying how the gnomes deserved this and you know, and the other things that they wanted to do with it, and all kinds of nasty things. And I don't want to tell the king that directly, and you know, because that is a very upsetting thing. But it seems that they know the regalia is yours in reality, and they are very purposely, you know, being disrespectful to your culture and your people. And I just felt someone here should have the full information about what was happening, you know. So perhaps there's a more delicate way to tell your king, you know, the kind of people these dwarves are. But and I thought maybe you would be a better person to know how to do that than I.
Okay. So Liren looks back at you. Dory, this is the last time I'll make you do this. But could you give me one last deception check?
Come on. Daddy needs a new pair of shoes. Come on. That's a 17 for a total of 20.
She looks at you, utterly convinced that you're telling the truth.
Damn right.
You can tell her brow furrows further than when
Damn
she
right.
sort of approached Thora, and she looks at you and goes, "This is indeed quite bad news. I will have to speak to the king about this, in fact, because not only you told me this story, but Hoblin as well. Although I don't trust Hoblin, and I'm not certain that I can trust you, 2 accounts is more than 1 account, even if both untrusted. I will see about this and look into it. But if you're telling the truth, that could be quite disastrous for the dwarves, I imagine.
Yeah, it is quite an unsettling piece of news. I know. I apologize. I would have to pass it on. I just felt your people deserve to know what was happening.
Well, we appreciate it, and yeah.
I'm always happy to do any favor I can for the good Normish people.
What would be the good in pissing on it, though? What do you think? Why would you piss on a hammer?
Just to spite your people, I think. Because I think the idea is if you ever did get, they don't care for it. In reality, they just don't want you to have it. And if you ever did get it back, you know, then it's an objective, you know. I think that was the idea. Just to be disrespectful. That was it. As far as I can understand.
Well, Zenmon, while this is going on, what does your character do?
Just watching over the dwarves.
Nice. All right.
I'm gonna pull Zemnon aside and ask him. Here. Like Zemnon. I'm a little confused. I wasn't there. Is Raj telling the truth or is he lying?
Who knows?
About the peeing on the thingamabobber?
The peeing of the thingamabobber.
Oh, it's a straight up lie. We didn't see anything.
Oh, are we trying to start a war? Or trying to get, like, what's the incentive here?
I don't know. Chaos. Fun.
I dig it. Okay, good to go.
Damn right.
Are you
Damn
on
fucking
board
right.
with this? Do you like this?
dead people means more things to loot. I like loot.
I like loot too. I like quest money.
Imagine having to go kill a bunch of dwarves and the money they'd pay for this thingamabob are back, or if we hold on to it to ourselves, we could go sell it somewhere else. Who knows what the world, what time will bring us.
Good. Is Orla in on this too?
I don't know. We just met her before with the fight. I'm hoping so. But if
Yeah.
not, we'll see.
All right, because when we got split up, I don't remember
Look
her.
at my health
you
there.
know?
It should be
Seems like she's
25.
here.
Oops.
So, do you guys trust her?
At least in a fight.
I like it. I think that's enough for us, right?
Yeah, for now, at least.
For now. All right, cool.
So
And,
while this conversation is going on, Orla, so you overhear a individual sitting next to you. You're probably sitting around 3 or 4 people currently. You hear 2 of them are talking about essentially new food that the bakery has established. One of them is trying to butt into the conversation and sell them something of some. You can tell that they're trying to get a permit for something. They're just trying to sort of sneaky beaky it so they can get a better, selling rate for some of their random contraptions. And you also see a very strange fellow looking into a glass disc, and you think you hear something along the lines of, fascinating. Gemstone resonance, harness teleportation. Fascinating. And he's essentially just sort of messing about with a number of small contraptions that he has on his bench. This is a very interesting looking gnome to you. However, I mean, yeah, other than that, you're just chilling out with your lizard right now, unless you had other things you wanted to do. Julia?
Well, I was trying to listen about the room as much as I possibly could. I was
Excellent.
very distracted by this mention of teleportation and what he's looking at.
All right. Well, I was going to say, what other conversations were you trying to listen in on?
So I was focused mostly on this Lyran person. But was that conversation happening at the same time as Coping's
So
conversation?
Yes, yeah. Both conversations were happening almost simultaneously. Although Zenmon, the Coping convo started a little bit after the Lyran conversation, but they both were talking at the same time. You would have sort of had to pick and choose, and then about halfway through that, you started hearing the professor sort of perking up about sort of odd random bits. You don't know that he's a professor, however. I'm just saying that because I make slip-ups as a DM. Yeah. And because it's on his nameplate.
Excuse me, sir. What's that about teleportation?
Oh, yes. Well, you see, when you are attempting to conduct a teleportation or something else to that effect, there can be interesting resonances sometimes. It's a fascinating world that we live in. I've been attempting to figure out whether or not you can teleport into the river milk of stars that you can see the sky on some rare occasions. And you see he has sort of a sheet of paper with a bunch of stars, sort of dots, in a little river on a piece of paper. And he sort of goes, yes, and you see, I'm wondering if it has anything to do with some of the more miraculous occurrences just outside of this play. I have been, my glass, the insides of my glass appear to have been acting differently than they used to act, which has been quite fascinating, and I cannot tell why, but it's like they're cracking from the inside slightly differently than they normally crack. I haven't figured it out yet, but I shall.
What?
Do you think that affects the
What?
accuracy of any teleportation you're trying to do?
Yes. Well, I'm not doing it. I'm
What a weird
studying.
dude.
You see, I have a tool that allows me to attempt to study and understand events which have occurred recently, but not at this moment, by portent, by judging. And you can see, like, when I mentioned that, like, little river of stars thing, it's like tens of thousands of dots. just on this sheet of paper. And if you, obviously your character can't have the sheet of paper unless they stole it, but if they, essentially it's just this piece of paper that has just thousands of tiny dots, all apparently hand drawn. But you can't entirely see it because there's essentially 3 glass panes above it. And you can tell the professor is using a 4th glass pane that he's holding to his eye to sort of study this odd schematic that he's created.
Can I tell how much is lunacy and how much is actually intellect?
It's like a solid 40-60. The thing he's studying appears to actually it looks like a sort of like something you would expect, like a little Renaissance painting. You know, like there's some cool. He has some skills in the painting. The writing is fantastic. He has a few lines drawn through squiggles, but you know that. Well, actually, give me a quick insight check.
Okay.
Or it could be investigation, but it's fine either way. I should probably have done. That's fine. Yeah, next time I'll keep it in mind. I should have done investigation, but that's fine. Yeah, so 17. That's good. So you can tell that the drawing is very good, but some of the conclusions he's making aren't quite right. But you're not certain what he's getting wrong.
And is it all on the sheet?
Yes.
Okay. So I
Do you reply to his madness in any way, or do you tell him anything, or are you just learning?
what particular recent event are you trying to capture?
You see,
That's a good question.
to the far east, to the far south, and to the far west, there were 4 different occurrences about 6 years ago, which were quite fascinating, in which it appeared that various landmasses were moved, transmogrified. One of them appears to have been sent outside of this planet. One of them was sent out of this realm, and one of them was shifted to a different location. I have mapped quite accurately, I believe, where these pieces of mass have gone. However, I am not certain. The issue is, I think that there are more teleportations occurring than I am aware of. I believed it was only 3, and I thought it could have been some sort of a strange geophysical phenomena, but I'm not certain anymore because I feel like it is as if there are 3 great winds which affect many other smaller winds. It's sort of like a beach. You could get caught in the tide, but if you're on the outside of the tide, you'll only get slightly pulled by some of the tides. And I can't quite figure out whether or not these teleportations are still occurring, or if it's something that is ongoing, or something that will occur in the distant future. It is all quite confusing to me.
What happened to his
Bless
accent?
Thank you.
How did you gather this information?
I have traveled throughout. Well, I haven't traveled that far, but mostly it's been
Wow, have you traveled that far?
80 years of study. Aggressive knowledge can only be pursued by reading every book I could purchase and then writing down every single phenomena that I see in the stars, and then attempting to align those phenomena with the things that I see and hear are occurring on this planet. Although not all the information is accurate, which makes me wrong sometimes, which is quite frustrating. But I will understand. I also teach if you have gold.
What do you teach about this?
Classes on astronomy predominantly. Every Tuesday, Wednesday, I'll make up different names for this world another day, but I forgot to actually do that for this. But every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at approximately 7 o'clock, I do 2-hour seminars on astronomical observations. And then on Saturdays, I do a gem cutting class. And on Sundays, I do a mint growing class for anyone interested.
Mint growing.
I lost my pen and I wanted to write down the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday thing. Figure it out another time. Okay. Alright, so at this, I thank him and I make my way this way to get closer to Zanam and Coping.
All right. Well, while this goes on, and all of you can re-engage in this
It's back to
conversation
me
in just a
now.
moment.
I think so.
Raj, Liren, after your conversation, sort of pondered for a moment, and then did bring you over to the king.
Okay.
So, one moment while I pull something up real quick.
Remember to unzip first.
We've got a bleeder. Okay, so here we go. So what we have going, so the king looks at you, and Liren sort of whispers in his ear for a moment. She sort of whispers woodenly, sort of with her slightly raspy voice. I'm sorry.
That hurt me.
I'm sorry.
You hurt
I
me.
know. But yeah, so she sort of wanders over, and she sort of, you can tell she's sort of speaking cryptically or whatever. And give me a quick, no, you don't really have to. You already did well on all your rolls. So essentially you can tell that she and the king have sort of a long,
Could he let me sneak
long
by? I have awful rolls in D&D.
working codependent relationship, and they
Truly
have developed
awful.
sort of this conversational thing where they are like, you can tell like she's using very cryptic language so that nobody else in the room, she doesn't want to be like, we might have to go to war in the middle of a room full of supplicants. You know what I mean? It's one of those. So it'll be like, oh, the weather's quite savage this time of year sometimes when there's dwarves peeing on the regalia. And she's sort of talking with the king. And he sort of settles in, and with his classic eyes, just very sort of deep set, he looks at you, and he looks very intensely for a moment longer. He stares. What do you do as he sort of stares at you while he's listening to Wood whisper?
I would just give him a low bow back as he's staring at me, and I would just hold it.
Excellent. Okay, so he, quite happy about the intensity of Raj's stare, just sort of goes over. Would you be willing?
Willing. Ha 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 ha.
He looks around the room. I have a request for you, which I feel, already anticipated to some degree. Can you find either the regalia or its location? We will question the dwarves here, but essentially, can you get it back, do you think? I heard from Hoblin that you are inhuman fighters. While that does seem somewhat terrifying now that I've let you into the room, would you be willing to get the regalia back for me? Or, at the minimum, find what the dwarves are demanding for the regalia?
You know muchness. I don't think we're quite that inhuman. I mean, we do have a lion person with us, but we don't hold that against him, right? That's not his fault. He was born a lion person. That is just who he is, And he's just living his life as best he can, But I will discuss this with my companions, but I believe we can give it a try. At least having some diplomacy with them to find out what they would want for it. We can do that quite easily at the very least. And then perhaps while we are there, we can get more information and find out what's happening, if my companions are up to such a task.
It would be much appreciated.
Of
Right.
course, your muchness, sir. There's no problem.
Our honor demands nothing less.
I would agree, sir. I would agree.
By the brilliance of our kingdom. And he sort of puts puts his hands in his head.
You mean to set it in his hands?
And yeah, that's Liren sort of looks at you, shuffles over, and just sort of says, "Yes, if you could sort of track this down for us, that would be much appreciated. And of course, we'll give you a reward. But do whatever you must, and we appreciate your efforts."
Of course. I will go check with my companions, but I am pretty sure that we will make a good attempt to do this.
right. Well then, while Raj is doing this, the rest of you, what are you all talking about?
I was just.
Were they just finishing their last conversation when I came up?
Yes.
Okay.
So Julia approaches Copian and Zenmon, as they fundamentally conspire for chaos. What do you guys do? What do you say?
Zenmon.
Yes.
So you guys have all teleported? Is that what I'm understanding? What happened here?
Teleport might be I don't know what we just popped up. We were in a fog, and then we ended up here.
Okay. Well, this guy I talked to over there seems to be researching this phenomenon of teleportation. He thinks you guys may be part of maybe the outskirts of someone doing it, or I didn't really fully understand, but he seems to have some knowledge about what has happened with you guys on teleporting.
Did he say who he might think would be doing it? Is it him?
David, you're really quiet.
Yeah, it's my mic broke on my headset, so I'm using my laptop mic. You can right-click my name and turn me up.
Really? Oh, let me try that. Nope, you're all the way up. Oh, but I can turn other people down, which means I can turn you up a lot more, because everyone else has been hurting my ears. I didn't know I could do this. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Alright, what did you say?
I was just saying, does he know who he think might be doing that? The teleportation?
I didn't really ask, but it sounded like he thought it was just an astronomical event.
Astronomical. That doesn't really make sense. For us, does we were in the middle of the fog. Wasn't at night. With the voices, the whispers. So confusing.
I think you guys should maybe talk with him since you actually experienced it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very well. Let's. I guess I'll head over there and talk to him.
Oh, before we head over, actually, he does have a sheet of paper that I think I understand his calculations. They just don't seem quite right. If you're not able to get all the answers from him, maybe we could look into swiping that.
Ooh, I think
Theft, my favorite thing.
yeah, Zemnon's good at that.
Oh, good. I'm not the best. I can be a little clumsy, so good to know.
Let's go talk to this guy and see what he knows.
Yeah, and depending on what happens or whatever, I could try to distract him. You could steal it.
Sounds good.
So I start guiding them over.
So he's still intensely working. You can tell again he has a lot. He's working through a lot. But yeah, he's sort of mumbling to himself, very very erratically as he's sort of going down star by star, trying to figure out, sort of a guess what's gonna happen in the future kind of thing.
Get a hold of yourself, lad! And I slap him across the face. No, I'm kidding. I don't actually do that.
Yeah, you gotta do what you gotta do.
What was the name of the island that we started off on? I forgot it all of a sudden.
Drenok.
Drenok, thank you. Sir.
I remember.
And I poke him.
I remember.
I poke him with the claw.
Hey,
Dear
Harold.
Scott, what are you?
I
What are you up to?
I heard you were you're investigating teleportation.
Hope everything's
Is
going
that
well.
correct?
Well, Yes, I am attempting to understand the deeper intricacies. How teleportations have occurred over the past 60 years in this world.
So, quick question for you: would you know about anyone going through a mist and ending up somewhere else? Like we were on the island of Dranak, and just a
Nice.
few hours ago, and all of a sudden we ended up here.
Getting out's always good.
Ooh, Dranak, yes, Dranak. I believe, and I could be inaccurate, but I believe that Dranak is actually a part of not necessarily a mountain, but it's a piece of a crevasse that appears to have disappeared not merely a few months. Okay, no, I walk very slowly. A few days travel from here. It appears.
I got my first day at my new job
From
tomorrow.
what I can tell, I've not traveled there yet because it is a very long
Mhm.
walk. But I believe that it was a landmass
Should be
that was
good.
moved for some reason, but I cannot figure out why, nor by whom. But I will. Oh, I shall know. You see, the more complex details about all this is that when you are studying teleportation, it's like an art form. Perhaps you passed by some sort of a meridian line on the island while there was something magic that was active, and in that moment, while passing through, or if it was a mist, that would mean that it was moving.
I am Raj
Suresh.
Suresh. I'm a Dampier monk. It's that character.
Controlling the edges of the island, then there was something either here or
So,
there, which is
bitey,
in some way
bitey.
interconnected, which is very interesting.
My teeth are my monk weapon.
But why would someone be moving things?
It's been fun so far.
From Drenache?
I have
I do not
episode
understand.
1. The
Yeah.
full episode. I have an edited, cut down episode as well on my YouTube if you want to watch it. So it was hella fun.
I
good stuff.
About 50% of what you said.
A lot of teeth
Would,
using
If you want me to
murdering
repeat it
going on.
in English.
No, dude, flavor stuff.
So even
Like,
though I'm
hell
only level
No,
3,
I understood what
and
you
so
said.
my
My
monk weapon's
character's
only
like,
1d4, somehow
Yes.
I almost always hit with my teeth, so
But,
I've been ripping a lot of
at
people's
least
throats
about
out.
half
It's
of
been
what you
good.
said. How could we get back other than traversing back to the coast and taking a boat?
So you would need to find whatever magical source it was. On this, I believe that it is some sort of a two-way street. It is like walking down a path, but there has to be a road at both locations for you to walk a road from point 1 to point 2. You know what I mean?
I think
There
so.
must be something here, but not here. But it must be. There must be an intelligence behind it. Must there not? It would only make sense. I can tell you, I believe, where it occurred, but not precisely. I believe it would have been 2.2 days travel northwest immediately of this location, but unfortunately, I do not have a map to show you. I could show you the star map, but I don't think that you understand how to speak star just yet. Unless you do. Do you?
Star? No.
You
No.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, of course. And I mean, when he said, "Do you speak star?" he pointed at the map of what appears to be a river-looking galaxy sort of thing. But yeah,
Please tell me you're gonna try and make him like sell classes to his astronomy course.
that hasn't come up yet. But the time
Yet.
will come.
Yet, he
He's
says.
still thinking about. So you said that you walked through a mist.
Yes, it was a mist that was whispering at us, and then we were here.
I believe the whispers were on the island, but not here, because I have never heard of whispers occurring related to teleportation. It is possible, but this would be the first time that I had observed it. That doesn't. Yeah, no, I don't. They're probably unrelated, or it was some local thing.
So you're saying
Also-
coincidence?
Perhaps. I would have to research, but I've already read every book that I have on the matter, and I haven't seen anything about that. So it seems unlikely, but it is possible, unless it was whatever entity or thing did transport you in the first place. In which case, then that would make sense, actually. If whatever it was teleporting you for a reason, and was telling you why they were. Yeah, okay. So actually, no, that does make sense. But it would probably be an entity that exists.
Man, he keeps going
that
back and
would be
forth.
whispering at you.
So you're saying it wasn't just some random happenstance that we came here. It was more like an intelligent choice to send us here.
They tell you precisely.
I don't remember.
We
It's
were
very
not told
quiet.
anything. We were just teleported.
Maybe one of my companions could remember that stuff.
Do any of you have any idea what it said?
Do I hear this conversation? Since I'm done with the king now, am I like walking up to him? Do I hear
no.
this conversation?
Unfortunately, I will say that you were just finishing up while at this moment. Because the king, I sort of spoke pretty quickly, but he's the kind of guy that like does the long, awkward pauses and the deep eye stares to like, to exude gravitas. So he took like probably 4 minutes just to tell you, can you go find my regalia?
So,
All right, then I do this. I go, Raj, come here, quick.
is he asking what the?
I'd give a bow to the king, and then I'd walk over.
He bows back.
Raj, do you remember what the whispers were telling us before?
It said like follow the path.
Something about how, the four elements, like man alone, are weak, but together they form the strong fifth element, boron. Was that it?
Sounds
Oh,
familiar.
God.
So the professor looks at you intensely. Boron, could it be? That makes a great deal of sense, actually. I will include this in my research. Surely I will make great breakthroughs in
Oh
this.
God, no.
I hope so. I don't know. The mist said a lot of things. It was something about only in secrecy can something truly be known, I think was another thing. I don't remember exactly. Something about similar things like that. I don't know.
I look at Zenom and I try to
I was waiting to
Zenmon
be
and
able
try to make eye contact
say
and
that
like
again.
make shifty eye movements towards the objects in front of him, in front of the professor.
Professor, what is that paper you're working on?
You see, so this is quite fascinating, actually. I could speak on it for hours. So this here, I have intricately laid out the plotted point
Darling
of
Corbus.
every single individual star in the river of stars that we can see in our night sky, because I believe that we are in some way intricately related to the occurrences in this stream of glowing lights which appear in the sky far away. And I believe I'm able to, in some way, generate a probability map of occurrences as I see them on the dates upon which they occurred based on where the stars' locations are. And in so doing, because I believe there must be an intelligence of some kind that established these points. And so he continues on and he sort of looks at you as he's doing this very intensely. He continues on and sort of, you get the...
I get where he's going.
Yeah.
He just starts rambling about what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Sir. Can I take a look at this map?
Why, of course. This is my only copy, so I would prefer that you not tear it. But here you are. You can see a piece of the parchment if you wish. Here you are.
Now, have you considered the fact that perhaps the sky is just an upside down dome, and that all of the objects and stars and things we see at night are just illusions there, put there by the gods, so that we had something to... why would you think so, sir?
9,492 years ago, there was an adventurer whose name was lost. However, his manuscripts have been relocated, and he was named Zinoa Kilapatisa. He was a most fascinating individual. But you see, in this time, he in fact traveled to the Sea of Stars according to his own claim, and he wrote several manuscripts which have been translated somewhat imperfectly over the past 10,000 years. And so we have a full diorama of the events in which these things occurred.
But sir, what if that book is just an old fiction that you have taken to be as truth after so much time has passed that its origins have been lost in time?
Because it was what was used to identify those stars which were unseeable until we had the technology by which to see the stars behind the stars. Thus, you know by probability.
How do you know? How do you know you're not just using those names that were in the book to apply to stars that you have just now discovered? He could have made up thousands of names of stars in that book. How do you know those are the correlating to the new ones that you have found?
You see, times in life, after you have made, by the sheer mathematical probability of the number of stars which were in the correct locations based off the names that, I will call him Zer because his name is dramatic and overly long in the style of sort of super Gashian epics that are just beyond my own scale and time. As you can understand, because it was so accurate on so many occasions, while I do believe that there is a possibility that you are correct, there is also a high probability that, and while he is talking about basically the probability of his map being correct, Zenmon, are you still going to attempt to steal the 4 parchments?
No,
basically...
not here. Not here.
Excellent. Well, yeah. So he essentially goes on about probability theory and the thousands of stars which he was able to locate in he and his predecessing, obviously the many astronomers who came before him. And yeah, just essentially it appeared to have been based off of probability as his main defense.
But probability is not a statistically fixed outcome. How do you know your probabilities are accurate without the right data about the underlying information? And since all you have is this single book, how do you know that the original author was correct about the underlying information? And if he was not, then all of your probabilities are probably wrong.
See, there are things that we are able to deduce, identify, locations which we are able to find based off of the rough. Essentially, as you may not know, many of the locations on our planet correlate roughly, although not always perfectly, with essentially Cradovar matches this river of stars. When you analyze the stars within this, yes,
that would only make sense though, because the land masses and other things on Cradovar reflect off the dome, so of course there's a correlation because the dome is slightly reflective, you see.
Oh, you're still saying that this guy is a dome.
All I am saying is that the simplest explanation is usually correct, and for everything you are saying, there is a far more simpler explanation for there being a dome. So unless you can disprove the existence of the dome, statistically it is far more likely for the dome to be an accurate, theory about the world than what you're doing right now.
God, here's what we will say. If you are able to
collapse this man's worldview
or provide evidence to support your argument,
I have exactly the same amount of actual logical factual evidence that you do, sir. That is all I am saying.
That is not what I am saying. Is if you are able to provide me with pure, real evidence supporting your argument, then and only then, upon that moment, I will give you everything that I owe. Every dime, every scrap, every iota. That is how confident I am in my predecessors as well. It is absolute.
I could say the same in reverse though, and you wouldn't be able to say these are just theorems. So.
I do not desire theorems. I desire. Give me a piece of this dome. Give me a picture of this dome as some sort of a painting, some sort of a thing.
Look up. You can see it above our heads at all times. During the day, the god's painted blue, and at night, it is painted black.
Understand the concept of evidence to an argument.
It is exactly the same amount of evidence as you give for there not being a dome, sir. That is my entire point.
I have a book that has been thus far completely accurate. And I have
The book
accounts.
The book can
by
say whatever.
trusted sources.
I'm going to write a book all about it being a dome, and I would have exactly the same amount of evidence as you have. That is my point, sir. It is not something directly observable. Well, the dome actually is directly observable. I'm not going to lie there, sir. But you know, I can't reach up and touch it.
Astronomy. Where did you study?
At night, by looking at the stars. At night.
Where did you study? What is your university's name? UCLA.
It's the University of Mumbai. You wouldn't know it, sir. Don't worry.
I'm just sneaking. I just walk away. Just
Chainmail.
Yeah,
thing.
I walked away earlier in
I
this
did.
conversation.
Just chainmail clanking. I walk the most obnoxious. Like I walk all the way around. Like I'm coming like all the way over here. Like just as far as possible. Like I'm over here now.
Well, so I will say, essentially, Raj and the professor continue on this incredibly circular argument for as long as Raj wants to. We could say determine it at max of 2 hours. But I will say at least 4 times before the end of this conversation, the professor implores that just for a couple of golds, you come to his classes on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and he says you might also like his Sunday mint studying class.
No,
So-
thank you.
So what were everyone else? What was everyone else doing during that conversation? Because I snuck away very early on in that circularness. So, and I was trying to listen in on what everyone else was doing and see about that.
Yeah, so there's about, by now, you're getting towards late afternoon, and there's probably, it's been a pretty quick day, actually. So you were essentially transported by mist in the morning, and now you're here. And there's about 12 what you would think to be merchants, maybe a couple of smiths wandering the hall as well, just sort of talking and being, mercantile by nature. There's a woman wearing fine clothing to the south of the room. You've got she appears to just be like tinkering about, just doing her thing. Other than that, it's a couple of guards, merchants, Lyran, the king, and what you presume. Yeah, I don't really need to. What you presume to be some sort of a royalty or something.
Yeah, I asked one of the guards if he used to be an adventurer like me before he took an arrow
to the knee. Yeah, no, of course.
Give me 2 seconds. Second is rather long here. Okay, so you see a guard. There we go. Okay, so essentially you walk over, and there's similarly to the guard that you saw at the entrance. This one also has a well-balanced short sword with a highly. You can tell these gnomes can craft. Yeah, so it's an ornate hilt. He's got a what you see to be what appears to be a buckler of some kind on his arm. And he's sort of wearing very basic leather armor. And he sort of looks over. Wait, I never got an arrow to the knee, but I mean, I'm being a guard here. It's good money. It's a good life. It pays for me and my family. It's a pretty good gig, all things considered. He's sort of a surly gnomish guard.
Speaking in a Canadian accent.
How tall are these gnomes?
They are
towering over them.
Yeah, you're towering. Yeah, I want to say they're above waist.
It's a good life,
I want to say
way.
it's like 4 foot. I actually should probably look that up before I say anything down.
Okay, so I'll just say, okay, yeah. Well, just watch where you're standing.
Oof,
Oh, my lizard's almost as big as them.
bro. Yeah, so that's approximately 3 feet in height. So these are
Oh, that's the same height as my lizard.
Yeah, so I'm double his height. So I just say oh well, yeah. I mean, I don't really care anyway. But watch where you're standing. I don't want to like crush you. And then I like clank away, and I go to
Wow, that's rude.
Zemnon. I say, let's get out of here. And then I go to Orla, and I'm like, I don't know what we're doing here. I don't know you, but let's leave. Then I go to Raj, and I'm like, dude, stop talking. I don't know. Let's go kill things.
Would you be interested? You hear in the background the
Oh,
professor
God,
trying
no.
to sell you.
No, don't worry. I will come back with evidence of the dome, and we will return at a later point in time. Goodbye.
I asked the professor if he's willing to make me if you're willing to make me a copy of this map so I can learn off of. I'll take your courses.
Yes, I can do this. Yes.
Okay, then I'll see you.
Come back in nigh a fortnight, and I will be ready.
Okay, I'll see you there.
Fantastic.
So less than like
Fortnite.
2 weeks or something. Sick. All right, should we do a long rest? Talking to the group, like should we like go like find an inn and like sleep off some stuff, or like
Probably.
That'd be good.
I mean, I don't need
Alright.
to, but I'm down.
I got some hit points and spells to get back.
So,
Alright. Give me a moment
Oh,
while I
well-
take the dwarves off. There we go.
during that, I did almost want to approach that princess person. Basically, I walked over to her. I was looking at her for a very long time. She probably noticed me looking at her. But just before I was going to say something, Coping told us to leave, and I just left.
Oh shit, my fault.
It's all good.
I figured we could like do a long rest, and then I don't know if Raj has a good direction for where we're gonna go do that, or are we just not doing that at all and just like completely trolling?
Well, we might as well do something and get paid for it until we can get teleported back to Tranak. So, I mean, why not?
Cool.
All right, cool. Do we know where the dwarfs are?
Orla is from this area. We met her here. She was here when we got transported. While the rest of us were transported like actual people in a group, Coping, and you got transported like yourself and was hanging off a cliff. We met Orla, and Orla, do you perhaps know where the local community of dwarves is that these gnomes are feuding with?
I do. I could guide you that way.
A quick DM note. Yeah, they're about. Honestly, you're Orla. You'd be kind of surprised that these two are so hostile at the moment because they're only like a day and a half away, like north. You just follow the ravine up the. Basically, you just keep going up the mountains a little bit, and you're right there.
That is Corbin.
Do you want me to guide you that way? They're just about a little over a day.
Should we travel and then rest right before we get there, or should we just rest here before we leave? Which would you people prefer?
I'd say let's rest here so we don't have to worry about getting attacked during our rest anywhere else outside here.
Yeah, that's good. We'll just
Okay.
pay like a copper or something,
Okay, let us take a rest then.
And I guess we'll rest for the night.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a fairly standard inn, just up the there's that walkway going up, and you can see it. There's a sign for the Stone Hollow. It's a. I won't belabor this one because it's not an amazing like 10 out of 10 inn. It's pretty cool, but it's it's a mid-range inn with better accommodations and some amenities. It's going to cost you about 2 gold pieces per night for a private room with a decent bed. And then, yeah, you got a basic meal included. But what I did want to talk about while you guys are prepping, and, I could go over the rooms are all fairly nice wooden rooms up on the hill. It's very safe. You can tell it's mostly merchants that are staying there. You could also, if you want, you can sort of pool the money, and you could get like just 2 rooms, or 3 rooms or something. Unless you're all willing to spend 2 gold, really doesn't matter. Whatever you guys want. But then I was gonna say
What do
for
I have?
food, I'm not gonna like
25. All right, I'm
keep
pretty well
track
off
of your
right now.
guys' like pack weight or anything, but and I assume you all have like basic camp pouches or whatever. Sorry, camping supply. What you get the thing.
Rations.
Rations, etc. But do try you don't have to make it a whole like outing. You don't have to pull up the I won't necessarily pull up a battle map or something to like show you where the shops are. But if you try to keep a rough idea of how much food you have or how old your food is, and then just like it's mostly just to try to keep some elements of that, because some campaigns people will travel for months or weeks, and
I
it's
don't
like,
know
when's the
that
last
I'd
time we
call
got
it high
food?
magic.
Hey, it was like 3 months
There's
ago,
something going
it's
on where
like,
there's just random teleportations happening, but
I
I
will
would
try
say
to
it's
keep a little
normal
bit of
magic.
that,
If you call normal D&D
realism in
magic,
there. So
high
just, like,
magic, I
before
guess.
long trips, just
I mean, it's
try,
not
if you know
Faerun,
you
but
don't have
it's
food, buy some
a
or whatever.
Faerun replacement,
just sort of-
essentially.
yeah.
So,
Sounds
that
like
high
fun.
magic, I guess. I don't particularly, but
Cool. So how much money do I have to cough up? Or
So it's going to
whatever?
be 2 gold pieces for the night.
Shit.
do I have to eat as a
Hey, room with one of you.
Dampier? You're always welcome. Do I have to? I'm trying to. Wait. No, I know as a Dampier, I have like one undead thing, and I can't remember whether it's I don't have to eat or if I don't have to breathe, and I can't remember what it is.
I mean, you did just drain most of a person's blood, so I'll say that sets you for like
I mean,
at least a
decently
couple of days.
common. I'd see. Is it breath?
For me, I don't think I have rations because I chose.
You
like,
are correct.
the
It
other
is breath.
thing.
Okay, it's breath. I do still have to eat. All right.
So can I buy rations and?
Yeah. So
I don't
like
put
I'd
them
mentioned,
in
Yeah.
hmm.
Well,
We
I
could
mean, it
just-
doesn't say I don't have
I
to
could
eat,
make
so
a
I'm
note of it
assuming
or
I still have to
something.
eat.
Oh, I do. I have 2 days
okay, yeah.
rations and water
Yeah.
skin.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna get
Yeah.
rid of 2 gold
So
here
but
off
again,
my
there's
sheet.
that bakery. There's
23 gold. Okay.
there's a number of other shops and stuff like that, and you can feel free to enter any of those if you want.
Do you guys want to buy some more rations and stuff, or?
I've got about 10 days worth of rations on me.
Same here. I'm not in danger of running out of food anytime soon.
You,
Well, I do run out fast, and I'm interested in this bakery.
yeah. Okay, let's go.
And
get
we
some
haven't encountered any really
food.
high level
You guys
magic. I mean, we
wanna
got
check out the
teleported from an
shops?
effect. Like, we don't even
Some
know. Like, it was
cool
just like
stuff
random. We
while
were
we
just
get
walking
food?
along the world.
And
It's
do
not
you
like
guys
someone did it
need
to us, you know?
anything, or-
I gotta sell a few things.
Yeah, that's right. You picked up the extra stuff, right? You could probably go try
Yes.
to sell that. Here, can I? I'm gonna give you an extra mace that I have that you can sell. Also.
Sure.
It says it's worth 5 gold, so
Matters is
I'm gonna
feeding you
give
can
it
eat,
to
drink.
you.
Yeah.
And just say that it's.
Well, I hunger. I crave
Alrighty.
for blood as a Dampier. You don't actually need
So-
it to
so what
survive,
does
as
it
far
sound
as I'm
like?
aware.
So again, you've got
just
you've got
crave
the bakery,
something.
You've got a workshop, and then you've got a bazaar.
But you're not fully reliant
Who
on
wants
it.
to go where?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to the bakery.
At least that's what the racial description kind
I'll
of sounded
start with
like.
the workshop and see if they're willing to buy these weapons.
Okay. Cool. So I'll just
Are
go
you
in
sure?
order. Is
Because
anybody going to
even as
bazaar or
because
not?
blood is an option, but you could be addicted to
Probably
a
after
number of
this.
substances according to the Dampier
So,
page.
Also, I got a rapier.
But it says
and
you're
a
just like
crafted
addicted to
amulet
it,
with I don't know what
and
the
you crave it.
properties
Not
are.
that you
I
like
could
need
give
it.
that to you as well, Zemnon, if you want to sell those, or if you want.
Yeah, those
to
who resist
do
might
it,
find
you
exceptional
have
ways of controlling their urges to suppress them through constant mode grinding
Sure,
restraint.
I'll take those things.
it.
You're always haunted
There
by
you go.
temptation,
I give you
essentially, and
the
circumstances
mace,
conspire to
the
give them endless
rapier,
reasons to
and,
indulge, but
it
it's
says
not a
crafted
requirement.
amulet.
And did anybody still have that longbow?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Oh no, they.
Oh, was it a
it's
specific
like-
longbow?
No, it's
You
an
just
extra one they have for the
endlessly
fight. Just
Mm.
Want
Yeah.
for it.
no worries. But all right.
And
Excellent.
they have options for a number of
So,
different things.
from
I
the
chose
top,
blood, but
So for the bakery, Orla, when you
Yeah.
enter, you see an energetic and bubbly gnome who appears to be a master of pastries and sweets. She
Oh,
has
that's
a number
fair then.
of sort of like sweet
In which case, you
foods that
absolutely would need it.
you're not sure how long they would stay good, but I mean, could always ask. But then she's sort of discussing pastries and sort of the wonderful day that she's having with a couple of her customers who are just sort of sitting and drinking on local teas and whatnot.
I mean,
while they,
I've
it's
let my
very pleasant
character
conversation.
indulge.
And there's a couple of small like
You're a mind
snacky
drinker?
meat type things.
Ah,
and
that's
a couple
cool.
of dried foods as well, dried
That's
fruits
cool.
and stuff. But yeah, just sort of a
Yeah,
bright,
I've
chill
been draining
little
blood
place.
from everyone we've fought so far.
Well, hello there. Do you have
Just for
any
fun, but
special brews?
my character's claiming that it's
Tea,
because of
yes.
his monk
So
training,
we have
and his
we have many teas. Here.
monastery
Specifically, are
like
you looking
legacy
for
passed down
a-
with his
I'm
tradition
going to
is
use human teas
that they
because
fight like
I-
animals and bite
Life
things, and
lessons. But yeah,
drinking
so,
blood is
she
like
has
part of
essentially
their
what you would know to be
culture, essentially.
variations of green tea.
and that's like
and
his
she has
cover up
variations
as to why
of,
he's doing that,
Essentially, it's
and not that he's some
it's sweeter
blood addicted vampire.
greens all the way down to
Or
like
vampire,
slightly more
rather,
bitter
'cause it's
greens
different than being a
to
vampire.
and then a strange consortium of Earl Grey teas that have all these very like most of them have gem in the name. It's like gem green, gemmer green, bright Swedish gem, and it's all these like just horrible, awful, just like it's a gemerl.
Yeah, it's
Swedish
not until
Earl. It's just this
way
kind of
later though.
dramatic.
I
And then she
think
sells like either
Is
little
that part
metal
of
tins that can hold it,
Diamond
or
Body.
there's
No,
also
'cause
a
Diamond
wooden
Body's
cup
not
type things,
until like level
and
20.
a bunch of sort of oddities like that.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Do you have any
Isn't it like a level 18 feature or
any
something? It's like
special
way,
kind of
way later.
brews? That may affect one more
Timeless
than
Body,
a regular
Timeless
cup
Body,
of
or
tea?
Purity Body. Is that a town? Oh, let me just.
So
I can
she sort of
see.
looks.
No. Diamond Soul, no.
Now, just to specify, so you're talking
It's
about
Timeless
like,
Body at 15th. That do it, yeah. Your key
like
sustains you. You
magical
suffer none of the
properties or
frailty of
drugs?
old age, and you can't be
However
aged
she wants to
magically. You can
interpret
still
it.
die of old age,
So
but
she
you no longer
brings out
need
what's
food
known
or
as
water.
Gnome's Gearwork Green.
Yeah.
It's sort of metallic.
Level 15, you gotta get
it's
pretty high for
basically
that.
like your archetypal gnomish tea. It's like it's what they make. It's got exotic herbs and it's infused with a bit of gnomish ingenuity, is the way that it's described. But it's just a brilliant tea. She takes it very literally. Like, what's the most fantastical tea you
Pretty
have?
sure there
And
was
she's
one
like, gnomish tea is the
D&D
best.
book series with a really
Here's
high
some
level
gnomish
monk, and I
tea.
can't remember
I
what it
hope
was.
you
I think it was the
delight
Cleric
in them.
Quintet
It's the
series by
best.
Salvatore. There's a really high
Oh,
level
thank you.
monk.
May I try
I'm not talking about
some
Dahlia.
for
I'm talking
free?
about there was another monk in there.
No.
It's really powerful.
Do you have any free samples of anything here?
No.
High level monks are like super
gonna
rare.
pay-
Alright,
in,
understood.
like,
No, I'm
D&D
just kidding.
lore. I don't know. I
no,
think
of
it's like the
course.
only
Here,
high level monk
do
I've
you
ever
want
seen in any of the books. It's that
what-
one guy.
Just
And he
give me 2
turns
seconds,
evil,
I'll
if I remember
pull up,
correctly,
what
too.
she
Oh, the
said.
Cleric Quintet's actually pretty good. I liked that series. Catterley.
So
You'd
she,
like Ivan
she
and Pickle,
offers,
the
a
pair
taste
dwarf
of-
brothers.
She basically has
Pickle's
like
a
gem-shaped,
dwarf who
like sort of
very
frosting
neurodivergent,
on
can barely
pastries,
fucking speak, and
then she
everyone
has,
thinks he's stupid. He's
a
not
couple of
stupid. He's just
enchanted
different,
cookies
and
that
he's
emit
actually
colored
like
sparkles.
a druid, so
Unfortunately,
he
it's
has like
5
green hair
gold
and
per
whatnot,
dozen,
and
but she's
like
willing
Ivan
to
doesn't
just
understand
give
him
you,
because
like,
Pickle
one of
fucking
the,
runs around and like hugs trees and shit. But
a
his
couple of
weirdness
the,
and his
a small
neurodivergency
piece
means
of
like
one of the enchanted cookies,
his abilities
and
are
then
all
some
over
of
the place. Like
frosting
he can
for
do
the
like
pastries.
7th
The
level like
pastries are
tree
normally 2
walk,
gold a
but
piece.
then
And then
like
she has a
cast
bunch of
Shillelagh
breads
and
that
just
are a
uses
couple of
Shillelagh to
copper
fight
or whatever,
because
but
he's still a
it's, you know,
dwarf, you know.
they're
But his
pretty
abilities
great.
like all
But
he's
again,
just
she
a
gives
funny
you the,
fucking character. It's good stuff. Highly
She
recommend.
gives you one of the
You'd enjoy the Cleric
one of
Quintet.
the gem-shaped like frosting things. But yeah, and then again, there's a ton of other food. It's just she obviously has her speciality for It's kind of
Look
like
at you now. It's good
kind of
stuff.
like those shops that sell like those like refrigerator subs. Nobody ever talks about them, but they're always there. Like that's like your dried meats and dried fruits and stuff. But you get the
Oh,
idea.
did he release it as a
Okay.
whole
So I take the free cookie,
collector's
and
edition?
how
It's
much
technically
for
a prequel to the Drist series
for
because
just a
he
few
wrote this
ounces of
before
the gnomish tea?
Drist. Actually, and Drist ends up meeting up with Catterley and all of
Like
them
5 copper.
eventually as well.
All right, I'll
So
take it.
there's
Just because
parts
you asked.
later in the Drist series. I think it's during
All right,
4th edition
well,
where
Have a
the characters
dandy
even
day.
come in and meet each other and
Indeed,
stuff like that. It's really good.
all right. So with the bakery through, she like somebody else is there's a merchant
Yeah.
walking in, and she exclaims, "Oh,
Yep,
Twinkle Toes!
official
Oh,
D&D.
goodness gracious!" It's
actually one of the biggest series for
you find out that
3rd and 3.5, right behind Trist
well, I
himself
guess
with
you
the
didn't really
3rd
ask her
quintet.
name,
If I
so,
remember correctly, I'm pretty sure I am.
all's well there. But yeah, anyway, next up, so we had the workshop. Okay, Bill. So you walk in and you see a somewhat eccentric gnome inventor with unruly hair, sort of running. He's sort of fidgeting with things, but he's sort of running the shop. And you can see he has a number of sort of like clockwork toy creatures.
I gotta
couple
reread
of,
the 3rd quintet
gnomish
myself. I fucking love
trinkets
those
and
books.
gadgets. And then there's also like a
Yeah, I
smaller
read that before I
section
ever
that's,
read
like,
any of
just
the Trist
standard
books
stuff.
too.
There's a couple of bucklers, a couple of blades, there's a couple of tools, a couple of picks. You know, you get the idea. It's a pretty standard shop.
Sir,
You know,
do
it's the
you
Ghost King
buy
era
weapons?
of the Drift series where Catterley and whatnot come back into it.
Why, yes. Step inside. Step inside. So, there's like an atrium to his to this shop here. So, like this is just the entrance, and this is like the shop. So you walk in. He sort of ushers you in. He's like, "Yes. What do you have?"
All right, so I have a longboard, a longbow, a short sword. I have a warhammer, a mace,
He's a longboard.
a
He's gonna
rapier,
skateboard right down this
and
fucking.
something I'd like you to,
mountain.
a couple of things for you to inspect if you would.
I'll give you 6 gold for the rest. But yeah, I'll inspect something for you.
I have this vial, and I have this amulet. If you could
Go for it.
take a look at it for me.
Only way to write a
He sort
book
of
is just start
snatches it
writing,
quickly.
or any kind of story. When you're doing it for campaign or whatnot, you
He
just gotta start fucking writing.
looks intrigued. He's sort of he studies the hexagonal sort of shape of the thing. You can tell he's very careful not to like prod the edges. Interesting. And you've been just carrying this around with you, correct?
Correct.
Fascinating. Yes. So this is I don't know what this is precisely at the moment. Can I hang on to this for a couple of days? I just want to tinker with it, figure out what it is. The issue is, you see, there's obviously fluid in the center of this.
Sometimes they come out bad. Spend time editing them.
however,
Fucking Patrick Rothfuss with
what I'm worried
the
about
Kingkiller
doing
Chronicles, The
is
Name of the Wind. It
pos-
took him 10 years to
essentially
write it and another
copy
10 years to
several.
edit it to get it to what it was.
Essentially, what I'm worried about doing is
Nothing wrong with
if-
that.
because so you don't.
Well, it's really hard to judge your own
what
writing. I know
liquid
most
is
people look at their
inside
own
of
writing
this
and it looks like it
creature.
sucks. And my writing, I feel the same way,
Zero clue.
but doesn't mean you're right.
Side note, DM. I remember, didn't I do a history thing on the crafted amulet?
Yes.
But I don't know if I passed or I just knew it was like old or something, right?
Yes, from the far west.
From the far, okay.
From not. Interestingly, Orla would probably have some idea of where it was from. But yeah,
Sorry. Thanks.
no, it's good to know. But you know it's from somewhere in the far west, and that it's magical in nature. But yeah, but essentially, yeah. Bill, so if that makes sense to you, like basically, he's like, I don't know what's in this thing, and I don't want to, I don't want to pop it open. So it'll take me a couple of days to figure it out.
Okay, and what about the amulet?
So that he sort of studies it for a couple of minutes, and he's fairly certain that he knows what. 1 second. Yeah. Okay. So he's fairly certain that he knows what it is, but he's like, now. So I don't know precisely what the amulet does, or if it has any inherent. It doesn't appear. He sort of tinkers with it, puts down his table, hovers sort of a cloth over it for a moment, pulls the cloth away. He's like, so it doesn't appear to have any magical properties or anything, but it is intriguing in design. I think I know where it's from, but it is difficult to say with absolute certainty. So my immediate, I want to say that it's Zermelian, but I can't say so with absolute certainty just yet, because it's
Hmm.
similar to their style, but I don't understand any of the runes or anything that are on it. So hopefully you understand where I'm coming from. The language doesn't make sense, but I believe it's from the Zermalians, who I can't really sell to them. They're rather far away, so I can't put a price on it. Same deal. Could you come back in a couple of days and I'll ask around for a bit? You could hang on to these two, or I can hang on to them and I'll give you a receipt. It's
I'll
whatever
take
you
the.
want.
You can hold on to them as long as I get the receipt.
All right, thank you. So he scribbles, he stamps. He actually has one of his coworkers. Sort of they hustle over real quick, and you can see that the stamp says Bill Geargrin. And yeah, so Blip Geargrin, Whirring Wonders.
That's quite a fucking name.
And yeah, so he gives a little stamp on the paper and he hands you both slips. All set. And again, he's offered you about 6 golds for all the rest of it.
6 gold's a little bit shy on this stuff. The rapier loans, you could sell that for 25 gold. How about we do 20 gold for all of it?
20 gold. You see, the reason, I know you're right. I know that when it comes to the metal, here's the thing. For a lot of these, we're going to end up honestly smelting it back down and working it into gem cutting tools anyway. So really, all that I'm purchasing from
So they'll
you
be
is
even
the
more
metal
expensive.
itself, which is a raw value, which I would put. Okay, if you wanted something, I would bring it down to about 12 gold max. Just again, I'm not really buying the sword from you because we don't really need the sword. What we need is probably the metal to use for other contraptions. So really, it's just you're just selling me the metal.
Fine, take it. Give me the 12.
Oh, God, you got played, bro.
I know.
Dang.
I don't care. I just got to get it off my back.
That's fair. But yeah, all right. So he sort of very quickly gives you a quick. He sort of slaps the gold in your hands into a handshake. It's a little bit too much gold for his hand though, so he has like half of the gold in one hand, half of the gold in his other hand, and then after the handshake, he's like, and here's the rest of it, and he gives you the other 6 golds. And then he sort of shuffles back and he's like, yep, and I'm gonna say 3 days or something, and I'll be able to tell you where that contraption's from. But I'm glad you came here. I'm the best engineer in the town, so good call.
Alrighty. I'll be back in a few days.
All right, I'll see you. By the way, if you would, we've got these little clockwork toy creatures. It's and you sort of see like little mechanical birds and shit like that. Just your classic,
He's upselling
old,
him.
little
Dear God.
automatons and stuff like that.
I could just take one?
I mean, they're between 5 and 20 gold apiece, but you're
Nah, I'm
free to
good.
take one if you
I can
want.
just take one.
Suit yourself. Anyway, I'll see you in a couple days then.
Yeah, no kidding.
Alright, so I leave.
All right, cool.
Can I buy some rations?
Yes, you may. You could either go to the pastry shop. There's a couple of just stalls. Yeah, whatever kind of food you're looking to buy.
All right, I'll just go to a stall for some month-long lasting like jerky and stuff like that. Stuff that lasts a while, but has like protein, stuff like that. Dehydrated fruits or something.
Yeah, for sure. You see a couple of racks are set up, and there is a little sort of bored-looking stall manager, Mister. I'm not even gonna say the name. It's kind of embarrassing. But yeah, you got Tansy. It's the guy running the shop's Tansy. But yeah, I mean he's willing to sell like 2 silver for like probably 8 days of rations. Just a fuck ton of meat if you want it.
Yeah. I'll give you. All right, listen here, Pansy. I'll give you 1 silver for the 8 days ration.
Listen here, pansy.
Tansy looks at you. Did you call me Pansy?
No, I said Pansy.
Man, I'm just here running a shop, man.
Poor guy.
I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
1 silver. That's 4 days. I'll give you 4 days meat. I'll give you all these strips. I got a pile.
No,
of
he's a
strips. I need
cleric.
4 silver's worth. I'll give you 4 silver's worth of meat.
But he's a Tempest
How
cleric,
much
so
silver
he's
is in one
kind of
gold?
barbaric. He wears heavy armor, but he is all about smash.
Yeah, it's 10.
Yeah.
Okay. Tell you what. I'll take 8 days rations. You'll throw in an extra ration for free, so I'll take 9 rations, and I'll give you 1 gold piece, and you give me 9 silver back. How's that sound?
Roll a quick deception check. You son of a bitch.
Nice. Defrauding
Give me a
people.
second. I'm just gonna see something real quick.
Okay.
Oof. He does some quick. You see him. It takes him about 45 seconds probably. He's counting on his fingers. He looks at you. He looks at the meat. He counts on his fingers again. Looks at you. Wait, isn't that still 1 gold?
1 silver.
Huh?
Isn't that still 1 silver?
What? Well, I mean, depends.
Yeah, but I mean, so you take 10 silver.
All right. So
Which is
I'll
1
give
gold.
you. All right. So how about this? 8 rations, not 9, and
Yeah.
not 4. I just want 8. And instead of 1 gold piece, I'll give you this gold piece, and then you give me 9 silver back instead of 8 silver. That way, it's even.
So he looks at you. Isn't that the same thing we just said? Isn't that the exact same? Isn't
All right. Give me the 8 silver
Oh my
and
god.
9-day ration. Deal?
That's just half of what you owe me.
Huh?
Oh no, 2 silver. Yeah, no, we're good. All right, 2 silver, 9 rations. You know, I'll throw 1 in just because you're a cool guy.
No, you give me 8 silver and then 8-day ration, and then 9 ration. You throw 1 in because I'm just a dude. I'm trying to make pie.
So yeah, give me the 2 silver.
Oh, I thought you were giving me 8 silver and then the 9-day ration. All right, here's one. All right, here's 1 gold coin, and then you give me 8 silver.
Yeah, here's the 8
And
silver.
9-day ration, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
all right. You got 1 free ration.
sweet.
They're gnome
Oh my
rations. They're
God.
like half sized.
Yeah,
Suck.
no. Little did he know, it's slivers of meat. It is actually no. I'm not gonna do that to you. It's I mean, if he sees a human being, he's gonna break out the human sized meats. I mean,
That
that's
would-
not really a thing, but it all works out. Yeah,
All right,
that's
cool.
a good point. I've never thought about. I wonder if different species.
No, there should be small size rations and medium size rations. That's right. Now that you brought this up, yeah. He did just get Lunchables.
I guess I'd assume that I bought the correct one, although I didn't ask.
Yeah, no, you're good for 8 days. It's basically you just bought a pile of dry meat, just a veritable pile, like a gross
Dry meat and
amount-
trail mix.
a gross amount of dry meat. Like that is.
And before I walk away, I say, "And what kind of meat is this again?"
You should ask me.
I'm
before I
sure
bought it.
you want to.
Before I bought it.
Yeah, I'm
don't know.
not sure you want to ask those
You
questions.
don't know. All right. All right. Hey, Orla, get over here. Hey, Zemnon.
Yeah, what's up? What's up?
Hey, this dude's trying to sell me bitch ass meat.
And
Let's get him.
what?
I think
For-
I saw the exchange. You paid for that.
Yeah, it's
yeah,
not
look,
real. meat.
it's a mix. We got a bunch of meats. You know, it's like if you got a goat, you pick up the goat and you make a bunch of meat. If you got a rat, maybe,
Soylent
you
Green
gotta
is
some rat meat,
people.
You know, it's,
Soylent Green
here's what you
is
do. If you find the
people.
animal, you turn it into meat, and then I hang it here. I dry it out and I put some salt on it. Let it lay in the sun for a little while. Stretch it out. You know.
All
How
right,
much?
all right.
How much did you pay for this?
I paid 2 silver.
Tell everybody.
That's it.
Listen
No wonder
to me,
you only got.
Answer.
And how many
You
days of
gotta
rations do you
tell
get out of all this stuff?
Silent
9.
breed is people.
Yeah, of course you're getting like rat meat, dude.
gotta
Normal
stop
rations
'em.
for a normal sized person is 5 silver per.
Fuck.
Oh fuck. Oh,
Like, where's
spoil.
getting
Oh,
dry
come on.
bread?
If you haven't watched fucking Soylent Green at this point, come
All
on.
right, you want to rob this guy?
Come
Rick?
on.
Of course, let's do it.
Fuck yeah. we wait in the shadows.
You appreciate that, Ray?
Yes.
I thought you would.
It's actually no meat. Oh god.
No, all right,
Soylent
I'm
Green
good.
is gnomes.
I got my rations. I'm good. Thanks, Zemnon.
No problemo.
Alright, you guys have a good one.
And as we walk away, I say, "Nah, but for real, Zemnon, let's wait. Let's wait in the shadows."
I'll let you guys play that. Yeah, that's fine. 100%. During the rest.
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh my god.
And this is how the entire town tried
Exactly.
to kill us.
Over some rat meat. Tragic. just buying the street meat.
Yeah, why would you don't go to like a hot dog vendor on the streets of New York and ask what the hot dogs are made of? I don't know why. Like what are you looking to get out of this? Like
Like when I was in Korea, I never asked. Like it was a little like the little mama
Yeah.
was out there cooking
Is
like
this chicken?
her sandwiches. I didn't ask. It was like it's just delicious.
Yep.
Delicious.
Why ruin a
Why
perfectly
do you-
good meal?
Why do you need to know you're eating cat? What's the yeah.
Then all I know is that man, cat's really delicious, and then I feel bad.
Yeah.
And then I feel bad because I like cat. because
Oh man. But yeah.
Wait, so are you guys doing this?
In a little bit.
Well, I think you
What's
guys have
this
finished all the primary stuff that you wanted to do. So I will say that unless any of you guys still wanted to explore or wander around, we could probably call that. It's pretty late now, so we could probably call it here, and then we'll start off with the initiation
With
of
a
the
heist.
Yeah. Ocean's 11 on a fucking street side stall.
Yep.
What happened? All the meats were stolen.
I will say, Coping, in order to know where he stores his stall, you will have to like follow this guy tonight to like figure out where, because he doesn't just leave it in the street. Like,
So, he has to give up his rest to do this.
no, I'm not gonna. Well, I mean, you guys have like, it depends. However you guys want to play it, I'm not gonna be a jerk about it like that. I just mean, a guy, a human being, a tall, long blonde hair, wearing chainmail with a huge mace.
Well, astral elf, not even, but yeah.
Sorry, you're right. He'll have to like sneak and just follow this guy around all night. Like not all night, but until like 10 p.m. or something. Like
Are you following me? No. I'm just here.
just hiding behind a stone. Just like I can hear you, man. What are you? Are you gonna steal my rat meat?
I put some dirt on my face so he won't recognize me. As
Oh, so you're gonna go to blackface to make it acceptable? I see.
Oh God. Well, bright side, you entered Stone Hollow and nobody has died that you know of. So excellent work. That was a great session. Yeah. What did you guys think overall? Any comments,
stuff.
questions, concerns?
It was
Nice.
good. I liked it.
Dope. I'll and again, so it for just as a wrap up. So as I understand it, and obviously you guys again can do whatever you want, but it looks like the main two things that you guys have quest related are you now know sort of a little bit of the whole teleportation story, and then you know about the dwarven strongholds. I don't think I'm missing anything. But is there
I
anything
mean,
else?
we gotta help the guy fix his equations because he doesn't know that there's a dome, so he's never gonna figure it out. We have to help him, get that right. But no, that and retrieving the regalia. That's right.
I love that just So Raj is a flat earther just rolling in. Like, oh my god.
And here I'm gonna try and learn how to read the sky, to navigate properly. And one guy says there's a dome and it's getting painted every night and morning.
That's right, by the gods.
I was gonna say, have you ever looked outside of the mountain and like, do you see a curve? I don't.
Oh fuck.
But if there's a dome, wouldn't there be a curve?
No, the dome curves, the Earth doesn't.
But eventually it'd have to be, when the clouds get to it, it'd get pushed up against and cause it to go up the dome, wouldn't it?
No. It's like an upside down bowl.
Oh yeah.
We're the countertop. We're flat. Maybe you might get a little bit of that at the edges, but no, we're flat and the dome's above us.
Yeah, it's like
Gotcha.
turtles all the way down.
Yeah. I'll prove it to him. Don't worry.
Okay.
I thought it was
That's,
hilarious when you said the wrong line from you're whispering happening in the mist. Is he gonna add boron?
Oh yeah,
The fifth element.
some bullshit to him, and he like writes it down like, oh.
This changes everything.
This changes everything.
That's right.
I
That's
need to
exactly right,
research
Harold.
boron for the next 10 years.
Orphan status.
It's fucked that guy's life.
Well, what do you think the dome's made out of? I mean, it's just very obvious.
This is basic.
Listen, it all comes together. That's all I'm saying.
True. It's true.
We'll find out once we get on that Spelljammer ship.
Well, that doesn't. They fly through the planes. They don't actually traverse the intervening space. They go to the astral plane and they fly through. Technically, let's take 10,000 years when we can just take 3 days in the astral plane.
I'm saying they can go through your dome layer, and then we can see if it's actually domed or not.
Are they? Or they just hop into a different plane? I got explanations for everything, Billy. You can't beat me with this.
I got you. It's even if I have all the evidence in front of me, it's still wrong.
Well, you can't say your evidence any better than my evidence, unless we're reaching up and touching it. What's to say we're flying through it? What's to say that we're not actually just traversing planes?
Well, yeah.
Yes, we're resting at night.
This is them saying goodnight. Yeah.
Yep. With that, this episode is done. Harold, I hope you enjoyed a little bit you got to see, and everyone else will be here same time, same place next week.
Man.
Maybe a little earlier than we started today,
the
but
session's over.
same time and place, basically.
We're just shooting the
Have a
shit.
good night, everybody.
That was good.